People in the back, shut the fuck up. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Guys, come on. So thanks a lot for coming out tonight. Cameron, shut the fuck up.
Just because you have the mic.
I know, it's one time in my life. I'm going to take full advantage of this. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. It means a lot to me. And my family here today came all the way from Connecticut. I know people came from Boston. All right, shout out Boston. Tori, Matt, come on down. So guys, thanks a lot. This means a lot to me. So just to give you kind of a brief about the project again, this is called Red Fox Runs, the poetry series. It's a little different style. It's a poetic journal. So I've been here in New York City for about 5 years now, and when I first moved here, I told myself I was going to write about my life here, and after 5 years I was going to expose it to the world. So I'm very excited to share it with y'all. But we're first going to start off with a little video, a little promo. It is on my website, so you may have seen it already, but I wanted to have a nice form to show that. And then we're going to try to do a little bit of reading, but we'll see how it goes. The voice is shaky, the nerves are up, might cry, whatever. So, alright, so Chloe, can you hit the lights? We're going to do the video, okay?
Okay.
There's a red fox that follows me. Nobody else can see him. I don't talk about the fox too much. I'd suspect if I did, others would call me wild. But the red fox watches me. Even on the snowiest days, I can see his red fur through the precipitating flakes of glory. We never see eye to eye. He snarls at me from time to time, especially when he senses my vulnerability. He probably believes I'll quit. He probably thinks I'll forget about him. But I never allow myself to get too low. No, if I did that, the red fox might leave. I can't let that happen. He needs to watch over me. Sometimes I try to get the best of him, but as swift as his tail whips at the lightest touch, he runs. He does this on purpose. He only allows me a temporary grasp, a short-lived glimpse of perfect purity. I see myself as the red fox runs. He keeps me hunting. I know I'll catch him one day.
For a few drinks, but so we're gonna try to go through a few. We'll see how it all goes. So, like I said, this whole entire series is really based off of a lot of my experiences here, a lot of things I see, a lot of things I do. So, the first poem is called Park Bench. It's Dave Kell's favorite poem. He told me that if I read this, he may show me some cool things later. go. So let's start off with this first one. Just before work, I walk past a park bench. It's green, usually empty, and many people, like me, give little notice. I wonder if the bench feels ignored. I wonder if a bench can be lonely. It seems like it isn't in a good spot. Situated on the southeastern side of Central Park. Many people sit and share their lives on it. They might discuss the recent headlines in the Times or Wall Street Journal. They may retell stories that they haven't thought of in a while. Maybe a budding romance has formed. Or a begrudged man has broken his lover's heart there. Possibly, someone has found closure after visiting the park bench. Once in the middle of the night, I saw a man lie across the bench. The bench mustn't mind any of this. It has its purpose as a soundboard, as an unexpected friend, as a location to start anew, as simply a home. I don't know if I'll ever have a free moment to sit on the park bench. I'm thinking about moving out of this town soon, but I'm not. But I know where the bench is. It'll stay always, stable, empty of emotion, but full of responsibility. Every bit alone, but certainly among company. It can make you envious. I really should get a cup of coffee and catch up with a good friend. Maybe share some thoughts while sitting on the park bench. So, a lot of you know, like, I like to kind of go out and have fun, get partying, and get fucked up. My mom doesn't particularly love that. Effed up. This is definitely a parental advisory kind of event. But I.
Bathroom sink.
All right. But I do. It's interesting. Like some things that you do remember at the late parts of the night. And this poem is actually about those occurrences, and actually, kind of find your way home. Kind of like that power of drunk somehow can get you where you need to go. So this is titled "The Man in the Yellow Subway Line." After another long spell of drinking and trying to pull some skirt, rather victorious, rather failing, I arrive at the NQ or R stop, subway stop, or simply the Yellow Line. I should have taken a cab, but I spent too much on the booze. Drinks for me, for my friends, for my new friends, for anyone, really, readily ready to drink with me. Even worse, I didn't know how much I spent. Receipts, hurrahs printed on thin paper would remind me in the morning of the gin and tonics, the IPAs, the Cabernets. I should collect them and ask the bartender to sign them like baseball cards, or have girls kiss them. They'd leave ravishing pink lipstick marks, maybe another night. The buzzing epicenter of the city is vacant. Times Square wastes on its illumination. As I walk towards the subway's platform, the bums mingle in peaceful harmony. They stare at me. Do I remind them of themselves when they were my age? Such a maze. This underworld. That's when I see him. The mosaic man on the subway The mosaic man on the subway station wall, still wearing his brown coat. His top hat half covers his tilted face. Like always, his trademark orange scarf keeps him warm. I ask him for the time. It's a game we play between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m. He never responds. I laugh at his motionless face. I laugh with no one. I leave the perpetual man concentrating on his watch. I notice a new movie advertisement next to him. I slap his flat shoulder. I only need to remember 3 things once I find him. Left, right, right. The second right comes after the newsstand. I wish I had a few bucks to buy some chips or nuts. Something to preoccupy my sleep-deprived mind. I wait for the underground space shuttle. Once it comes, I enter the tube and sit. I see sparks of propelling electricity as a subway crosses Queensboro Bridge and leaps over the East River. I think, another night, and I can't wait to get the fuck home. So this one's like a pretty personal one. We're gonna try to get through it. So as some of you may know, my grandparents, their health has not been the best, and a lot of the poems reside around the theme of memory. And my grandfather, who called Pop Up, is ailed with dementia. It's really tough. He's definitely a mentor to me. And this is a poem that I wrote for him. As you can tell, it's hard to get through, so we're going to try the best we can. Appreciate the support. The title is called Living in a Yesterday Memory. I was waiting for my food. The room was filling up. Pop was eating cinnamon toast and Mimi was finishing an English muffin. I started to get agitated. I looked around and saw all the people we knew. Well, all the people Mimi and I remember. "Come on, Sue, where's my food?" I asked. "Sorry, Joe, it's just a little backed up," my sister said. "But I ordered 20 minutes ago." "Jolie, just be patient," my grandmother, Mimi Marge, said. "Hey, Margie, give the guy a break. He's got a big game later tonight," Pop said as he winked at me. I hadn't seen my grandfather give me one of those for a long time. "Jolie, basketball? He's almost 30 years old." "Pop, you don't play basketball no more." "What are you talking about, Mimi?" I interrupted. I gave her a look that told her it didn't really matter. Yeah, Marge. What are you talking about?" Pop said. Mimi stopped. She understood. The reality wasn't worth revealing. I liked living in Pop's past. In it, we were allowed to remember. These moments were nice. They were important. But they were also very sad. We didn't allow ourselves to be sad. We dreamed for memories. I could see Mimi struggled. I suspect it was hard for her to stay strong, but she did. She had to. We all had to. Surprises me how much of a gift reminiscing is. Conversations you've had, the ones you used to get bored of, can be so precious. My sisters handed me a plate. "Here you go." "Thanks, Sue." Pop looked at Sue and then me. He was silent. Mimi looked to the side. She couldn't bear witness to it. I looked to Papa, and he didn't recognize me. The moment was over, and we didn't know if another one would ever come. I felt guilty for forgetting how valuable memory can be. I wanted to say that, and instead ate the breakfast sandwich. With each bite I anticipated, hopeful that Pop would return. I waited, only gaining 4 bites before I couldn't eat anymore. Sue asked, "Why aren't you eating?" I didn't say anything. I started to step away, but stopped. Pop said, "Yeah, Joe, need your strength for the big game today." Alright, one of the beauties of living in New York City is the relationships we have with people, men or female, but also the very close ones, the loves of our lives that come and go. So book number 2 of the series is titled Her Pages, and it's very focused on my relationships, especially with someone that I had a 2-year on and off relationship with. So let's just get right into it. So the title is Her Pages, okay? She doesn't open up to anyone. There's a story she intends to tell. A way she wants to be remembered. Once I wrote on her pages. There's a certain time, moment, feel, style that worked. I filled each page, I wrote carefully. She watched carefully. I tried diligently to pacify her. All I wanted to do was create a love story. At first it was easy. Then it got harder. I didn't even want to look at her pages. I feigned writer's block. I didn't want to write about what hurt, those times of drunken spats, of jealousy, of presumption, of fear. Our relationship crumbled over nothing. I would get so mad at her. She in turn was just as caustic. But after times of retaliations and disgust, we turned her pages completely blank white. We'd come together. We wouldn't say anything. We realized how foolish we were. It didn't matter how it happened in the last chapter. I shouldn't, but can't help remembering. It is always the small things I miss the most. The midnight hair, the gap between the top middle teeth, the dot under the right eye, the chunky button nose, the curve along her back. Those were hers. I'm sure there were things about me that must be noted in her pages. I was never able to read those. I'll never get the chance. Our days were numbers, pages thinned until the last one came. The story had to end. It was so good. I was selfish. Maybe I still am. I wanted to know more. I wanted to write more. I wanted to read more. I wanted her more, but she didn't. She didn't want me anymore. So I wrote. I couldn't procrastinate any longer. It took me longer to write the end than any word before it. After I finished, she took her pages. I didn't write on them anymore. Sometimes I try to remember, senselessly trying to figure out what part I might have changed to make it work. I could rattle my mind around forever. I suppose. Perhaps I could find someone new. Any guy is lucky to write her pages. They just don't know how much until they notice the page is thinning when it's almost time to write the end. So book number one is called, the title is Wild Revolve, which is an interesting title because the noun could be wild and we revolve, and then it's just, I actually describe the city as the Wild Revolve. It is crazy town. I'm sure you all are aware, most of you are natives here, but it's a great fucking city, it's awesome. So I wrote this actually really when I first started here, when I was kind of struggling, trying to find myself and what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. So let's do it. Alright, so the Wild Revolve. I don't even know why sometimes. There's an impeccable rush. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm going to lose it all the time. But I thrive on it, live on it, and hate it all at once. Now, here I'm babbling about it and feeling completely normal. Here in a small bar, just like one in Lewiston. Dave? One time. Everything is easy back there. Small towns. And I've left it. I could always go back. It's my choice, I guess, but I don't. I refuse to. Now I'm beating the bar's counter like a drum. With each thump, I yell, wild, wild, wild. The bartender looks at me as if this is completely normal. Did you know that I lie down with the lights on at night? He laughs because I've told this to him 10 times before. I try to calm down, but a radical image circulates inside my head. A deranged carousel on the west side of Central Park. As the skiers start, my shortcomings collide with the beauty of chance. I can't help myself. I believe in chance. My belief allows me to beat inertia's grass, and the ride spins faster and faster, and the wildness of it all consumes me. I don't get off. I don't ask the conductor to press stop. I hold on. For dear fucking life, I hold on. It'd be easier to let go. I never should have gone on this ride, but when I say that, it isn't me. It isn't true. I'm stuck and completely captivated, addicted to the Wild Revolve.
Yeah.
Doing all right? We're about halfway.
Doing more, dude.
Should I stop? Just... Here we go. So, I have a really good friend here, Alexis Vale, who's here tonight. And we took a great trip a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, to Austin. We went to a writers' conference. I would say, in my opinion, was a very impactful conference to understand writing, the business, film industry, everything. So I really appreciate it. And we really had I think, and Alexis is out there somewhere, but we had a great fucking time. It was an amazing trip, unexpectedly amazing. So I, unfortunately, was very upset towards the end, just because we made some amazing friends, lifelong friends that we all keep in touch with. So I did write a poem about one of the last nights. The title is called All Roads to Youth End in Austin. We were the proverbial creatures of the night, sipping on cheap drafts, listening to open mic, and relying on optimism. A community of drunken millennials. Our spirits mesmerized by hope, fear, and desperation. It's better to be here than anywhere else. I look out to my former soul, the one that yearned to feel. The way truth tricks you into believing. I watch and can't help it. I miss that sense of adventure and the thrill of optimism. I've come to know the confines of my life are narrowing. Am I running from the person I'm supposed to be? I'm not sure. I try to believe there's still time for me to explore. I need a moment alone to regain composure. Kelly walks over and asks, Are you okay, buddy? I'm not. I'm not really sure, I tell her. I know that I envy the times when I felt lost, the times when my spirit shouted. I miss hearing my youth. The group reminds me of the dreams I've had, of the dreams that remain. A quiet desperation follows a lifetime journey to reach a moment when we grasp our truest breath. The end of youth is something so fragile. It escapes us in the moment when we wish for it most. Society pressures us, not in the sense of exploring, but in the urgency of time. It ticks, rattles, and infuriates us. I wish it were not so, but I guess it has to be. Something needs to remind us how ignorant it is to waste. Time is a callous notice that forever isn't forever. The night, a black curtain cast over a gray past. We yearn to experience everything for the first time, but instead we grow. Still we resist. At times, we're desperate to forget. At other times, we're desperate to remember. The pull outweighs the restraint, and we push forward, even when it's easy not to. As long as we believe in the rarity of the light, we hold on to that belief, for we know that even the most delusional individuals have prevailed. A memory becomes a victim to emotion. A sense of our present banality laughs at us while we yearn to repeat the past, to step into our former selves, as if born again and experience everything for the first time. When the thrill of discovery was fresh, but we're distracted during first experiences, unable to fully appreciate them. We become victims only later, ailed by nostalgia. But the beers keep on coming. The song keeps on playing. The Misfits and I cheer another round. Danny's on stage, about to pull some chords. We take it in. I'm sad now. Unlike the others, I've been here before, and tomorrow comes too quickly. I'll miss this. When the trip's over, I return to my daily doldrums. I'll miss this even more. And even in later days, when I'm much older than now, after many stories and experience past me, I'll think back on tonight. Think about right now. I'll miss it. All right, so if anyone wants to get like a drink or anything, don't feel like you have to just watch the whole time. Like this next one is long. Is the longest one of the night. It's actually one I'm very proud of. And it just kind of give you that kind of like storyteller kind of like background. Like these poems, like I mean, I hope you like them. If you don't, that's cool too. But they do take a lot of time. This one in particular took almost 4 months to write. So it's interesting how our world or our country is somewhat in disarray, and I think there's a lot of like uncertainty at times, and there's a lot of confusion about where we're going to go, and then that reflects on us, and there's a sense of survival. And interesting enough, I think sometimes America doesn't always do the best to promote independence, even though we're an independent nation. So this poem's called American Chess. Subtitle is Everyday Dishonest Heroes. The children will learn about it, ways they can maneuver, weave, and bob. They'll play on empathy and use emotion to disguise their inability. Their lives lived at seas poise. In this game of life, they'll capitalize on the loopholes. They'll become masters of social deception, debunking vigilance, discipline, and dedication, trained to dismiss anything that glistens with accountability, skilled in passive aggression, liable to nothing, with nothing made, nothing moved, nothing at all. The teachers will teach them this because the teachers were once them. The subject matter covered up, a dazzling display of subjective adaptability. Confused by the teachers, confused by the parents. They are taught to be confused by the ones they admire the most. We grow up in a society that bends us, rewards us, labels us all too quickly. It finds a way to belittle us, leaving adults groomed to battle endlessly against one another. For how quickly do we turn when we aren't given the applause? That's when the evil comes out. The growth of anything is subdued, the endless desire to be wanted and regarded, a misbelief that we need to be placed in a position of prestige, a foretelling of the loss of our potentials. That's what we've learned. And so, Americans are bred to be withdrawn. They say mental health will save us all, but how can we believe the therapist who needs therapy or prescribes us the drugs that keep us needing them, paying them? The tax dollars of the hardest workers spent on those who act, who've had bad parenting, who've known manipulation is better than any talent. They play the finest game. The country's progress will be stunted by the game. Fear of remission will ignite its flames. Everyone will burn from the intolerable, apprehensible insanity of the game. For those fighting for honor, lurking alone and creating, the dice will roll their roll. The numbers will lie, and they'll never break the bank. When the child weeps, begs, gives us an honest answer, we dismiss them as being weak. When the child is silent, attempts to take his life where he hides behind a medical mask of deceit, we call him brave. The country gives him money, a home, food, and a therapist, all the attention he could ever expect of us. Honesty is dangerous. Those who bear truth become ingenuous victims of the game. It turns on them and eats them up and makes them work. It makes them the worker bee, dismisses the intellect they harbor, places them far away from power, innovation, and instead places them under the direction of monsters, those that ensure advancement falls in on itself, as if it were a bridge built so long. Yet just as the last peg remains, the entire structure collapses, only to start the project once more. This is America. This is the price paid by hardworking individuals. This is the land of the free. This is the land of the careless. We bask in a sad disarray, chaos mixed with resounding ignorance based on the delays, developed possibility, and ambition. The government will tell us what they want. The media will show whatever someone else pays them to show. The people will believe them, give their lives to hear what they're told to do. They will fall like herds of antelope to water, seeking nothing more than the easiest directions to eat and digest the food, and then crap it out. Then, when hungry again, seek the next feast. Movement remains torrid and without direction. The spirit of anger ripped out of him before it has time to commit itself. The darkest days darkened by the looming disappointment, the internal disbelief. The capturers await their prey, the prey already defeated. Brilliant men turn into store clerks turn into presidents. If only the paper were blank from the start, the teachers would allow us to explore. If only the goals were cohesive and the progress could prevail. If only the game didn't exist, then the insanity wouldn't ruin minds. A shimmering cape waits to be swung over our eyes. Attention taken away by this distraction or that distraction, with more distraction waiting until nothing is clear. Fog hovers in front of us, keeping us humble. And if we dare to look past it, our eyes will shut. They'll remain shut until we fall complacent again. It'll get you down. Guilt comes next, spurred from your intellectual drive, by the deep thinking veins of sublime contemplation pumped, and when the blood pools, it gives a bleak sense of hopelessness. Every appendage of your body becomes heavy, and it's hard to move. But, there's always a but. The submissive seekers demur from this. They believe in purity. They inspire the minority to believe that it must change. A verve pulls them from the crazy machination of life, standing on a chessboard without pieces, where only the spaces move, every step controlled by the board. Not knowing, but believing it is possible to overcome. All right, that's the only heavy one tonight. Okay. So a nice part of New York City, again, is you can walk down the road and you're going to experience something that people would actually love to experience their entire lives. So I actually wrote a poem of a casual walk to getting some milk at my grocery store. So the title of this is Milk Run on 34th Ave, subtitle A Story of Calling. The deli sign is green with yellow letters. I miss it, the way it used to be, when the background was yellow, the words red. It used to be a shitty sign just a week ago. I preferred it that way. At least the deli looked aged, like it was some sort of landmark. Now it looks new and too polished. The vegetables used to look suspect. I would only buy the ones I needed. They would last a day, maybe a day and a half until they rotted. Now, with the store's makeover, those vegetables look fresher. Yet another of life's optical illusions. Alpha laundromat is packed. I don't have to walk in to know it. The front windows are fogged. I can't see inside, but I know there are dirty quarters, fabric softener sheets, and heaps of cotton wear circling within the sauna. I wonder if any of the Hispanic kids are running around outside. Wait, there's one. They tend to trickle away from their parents and play on the sidewalk. When a stranger approaches, they run back inside. They always stare at the stranger right before going back in. I've been stared at many times. Grusco's is the saddest restaurant in the world. It's not their fault. It's just a poor choice in location. Isn't that something? Astoria, basically New York City on 34th Ave, nearly across street to Steinway. A bad location? It is. The huge dining room lies empty. The waiter washes the same glass 10 times throughout the night. He's got nothing better to do. Grusco smokes a fat cigar at the bar. The giant Greek with caper-sized eyes. Good for him. Couldn't see the sadness in them. Even if you tried. Even if you got real close. You still wouldn't be able to. Your face blocked by a puff of smoke. Passed by Willie. Tries to snatch the air in front of him. I wonder where he goes. There's no way he sits outside the Rite Aid all day. Not a bad place to be a bum, I guess. At least you're near all the essentials. He's even got a magazine to use for personal matters. I glanced over at it just to see what he's interested in. Black booty. I think of saying hi to Willie, but I don't. Who knows what he'll say? I felt obligated to give him money, food, or a moment of my time to listen, so I don't starve. If I do it once, I'll have to do it every time. Even if I don't want to. I'll have to. I don't blame Willie. No, I don't. He's human. He's fragile. He's just trying to make a connection. He's just trying like everyone else. You know how it goes. Once anyone gives someone a chance, they hold on to it. I guess I'm not going to give Willie a chance today. The effort comes with a personal consequence. But I don't have time right now. I need to get milk. Looks like we just got like 2 left here, okay? Is everyone alright with that? Yeah. No, it's our night. And just by the way, in case you guys have not noticed, the book's dedication tonight, this anthology, is for my New York City family. Alright? So, and don't you fucking forget it, we are kings and fucking queens here, alright? Alright guys. Alright, so this is definitely poignant and very much dedicated to everyone here. I really love you guys a lot. Like, you guys support me a lot, and I know it can be a handful at times. But this is really about like the spirit that we have in this room right now. It's funny to see how the years go by, but we're still having a lot of fun, and I'm not trying to stop anytime soon. So I don't know about you guys, but this one is titled "Young Company." Okay? I surround myself with young company to forget about my fragility. Aging isn't something I fear. It's the effects of age that worry me. I'm scared I'll forget what it's like to be fresh. So I surround myself with young company. They aren't transfixed by unrest. There's ambition inside their souls. They haven't been let down enough to feel guilt. There's an inert community. And they float as seamlessly as clouds in the sky, adjacent to the vibrant blue background as white wisps of pure innocence. I'm pushing 30, 31. My hair is thinned. Hell, I know I'll lose it all soon. My gut whines more quickly than it used to, but not recently. That's right. The hangovers last much longer than the day, yet this doesn't cross the minds of young company. Although they may kid with me about my age, and even if I look like the creepy guy that needs to grow up, they know it's different. They see it in my eyes, the fear delusion of a man pressing on, refusing to let the world get to him. When I see change in their eyes, typically when least expected, when the quit overtakes the fight, when the howlers quit howling, that's when I have to find new company. I can't be around anything else. I can't. Just can't. I've always been around young friends. I live off their fervor for chaos. I struggle to become more calculated because even with my wisdom, I can't help getting caught up in their unruliness, for which their nativity excuses them. Sometimes, even when I know I should abide by society's rule, I trip myself, wanting to feel a sense of invisibility again. I let myself believe. Otherwise, there'd be very little. I'd become just like those people that look back. I decide that those times have passed, reminiscent. You wouldn't want to be around me if that happened. You can never bear the sight of my saddest eyes. So I hold on. The thrill discovered outweighs reaching the final destination. And that's why I find myself around young company. Alright, so you guys want to hear one more, or what do you think?
Yeah, dude. More.
So we're gonna read I'm gonna read Red Fox Runs, which we already saw, but that's the marquee poem. It is the last one, so after this we can kind of like get drawing and stuff. So I didn't really go into it with the film, but the Red Fox Runs is on many levels has many meanings for me. The Red Fox is a reflection of myself, and can be for you. And it basically is something inside you that pushes you to be great. And I feel like every day I wake up that I'm trying harder to make it and do something great. And I think and it's interesting because this entire poem came from a dream I had. I woke up at 3 a.m. with this vision of me running down Madison Avenue in the snow, trying to find this fox, and getting so close to it but not. And that's actually a good thing. You never want to catch yourself, because if you do, you become complacent. And I'll tell you what, if you're complacent, you're dead. So that's why I love this town. And everyone in this room, you're invited here to this part because you also have a red fox inside you. So I fucking love this poem so much. So, even though you probably think it's dumb. So, alright, here we go. Red Fox Runs. There's a red fox that follows me. Nobody else can see him. I don't talk about the fox too much. I suspect if I did, others would call me wild. But the red fox watches me. Even on the snowiest days, I can see his red fur through the precipitating flakes of glory. We never see eye to eye. He snarls at me from time to time, especially when he senses my vulnerability. He probably believes I'll quit. Probably thinks I'll forget about him. But I never allow myself to get too low. Now, if I did that, the red fox might leave. Can't let that happen. He needs to watch over me. Sometimes I try to get the best of him, but as swift as his tail whips at the lightest touch, he runs. He does this on purpose. He only allows me a temporary grasp, a short-lived glimpse of perfect purity. I see myself as the red fox runs. He keeps me hunting. I know I'll catch him one day. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Let's have some fun. Again, after party is at Barricade. Looks like we got like 10 minutes to drink, and we gotta be out of here at 11. No bowl. Alright, so thanks so much. Let's have some fun. Buy the book. Please buy the book. Sorry?
It's religious or okay, never mind.
Okay, thank you, Cameron Stewart.